It's mid-August of 2025. The investigation into the missing Matthew McLaughlin is almost 3 weeks old. Investigators speak with a friend of the Army veteran in hopes of gaining knowledge about his whereabouts and maybe who might want to harm him.
We can look back up everything if we need more information or whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're free to leave at any point.
Yeah.
You're not facing charge. You just bring that pen.
Dang.
Yeah, hold on. It's not good pen. Thank you. Guys, right now we're just investigating for a missing person. If at any point you need to step out, use the restroom, whatever, just let us know.
Okay. I do have pies in the oven, so but I've got to turn around.
How long?
For like 30 minutes.
Hopefully we could get this knocked out pretty quick. Obviously we're in charge of this investigation.
Okay.
Deputy McCarty. Just be as descriptive as possible.
Okay.
I don't want to give you like a whole spill on how descriptive we need. Just every little detail that you can give to us, okay? So basically from beginning to end, let's start with your interaction, relationship, how you know Matthew, last time you talked to him, to where we're at now.
Okay. So it was like the end of April. Him and his roommate David walked here from their little house, and I was stoked because there's not a lot of 20-somethings in the area, and I immediately wanted to be their friend. And then they stayed here, they drank beer. Matt ended up washing dishes like that day. Debbie didn't want him to work here, but he ended up just sticking around more and more, and so he eventually got a job here. But me, him, and David they didn't have a car, and they moved out here under the impression that Victor Joyner would be with them. He's the one with the car, but he lives in Taos now with his fiance. So I kind of just took them in under my wing and showed them around, showed them the John Dunn Bridge, cooked for them, took them into town when they needed to, and then I started another job, so eventually but me and Matt were really close for a while. If I needed anything, he would be here. Drop of a hat, he would just walk.
Real quick, because I don't mean to interrupt you. Can you state your first and last name for us?
It's Sarah.
Sorry, we meant to ask that at the beginning.
No, you're good.
Okay, you can go back to telling us everything. Sorry.
Yeah, so I don't know. Me and Matt almost dated at the beginning, but I just kind of wasn't into it. But I just thought he was really too sweet and stuff. But we ended up just being friends. And then David would come up here every once in a while to play games or whatever on his laptop. But so Matt cooked here starting in May. During the week, and then he would come up here all the time and help out too. So I called him, let's see, it would have been Friday. He missed work Thursday on the 24th of July because he was having heart palpitations. And Friday when I came in and learned that, I called him. And he said he was at the VA in Alamosa with Cassandra, who's another lady that works here, but she kind of takes him around. And Saturday came, the next day, so the 26th, me and Mickey, who's here right now, we were outside, and I was I want Matt to be here, we need help, we were just slammed, we had a ton of dishes, and I was I'm gonna call Matt and see if he's okay, and see, if he'll come in. And so I called him a bunch of times, or I called him a few times, I think, off the Chili Line phone, because I didn't hear an answer, and, no answer. And then I called his roommate, David, and he said that Matt and Victor got into an argument about Matt bringing drugs into the house, and that Matt took his bags and left, and started walking towards the highway. And I was like, okay, maybe he's just going off, taking a breather. Maybe he's at a friend's house or whatever. And then my phone that I had like broke, and then I work half of the week in town, so I was kind of like disconnected from everything out here. But when I got back, it was like 5 days later. I was like, okay, we need to file a police report. Like, but what was odd is that David and Victor like hadn't come up here at all. They haven't really reached out to me. They haven't tried to help look. You know, I had to call the police. I had to, you know, find his mom online and get her phone number, get her to come out here. And so, yeah, that's pretty much the whole story I know so far. And I've never been out to Matt Dave's house because I'm not messing up my car. It's like off of one of these roads out here. But, yeah, it's just really weird because Matt would show up for work. He wouldn't just like not show up. And his mom was away. He wouldn't like not call his mom.
Right.
You know, and apparently his phone, like his roommate has his phone.
Which roommate?
David. Or someone. I think his mom knows more about that.
Can you describe that phone?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No. I think someone has it now. I think that they may have given it to his mom or Dave. But what was weird is that, you know, I tried calling his phone. I told David I was trying to call him. And he never said that he had his phone. So, it's just weird. And then they all have, like, drinking problems. They all have weapons. They're all ex-army. So, yeah. So, that's pretty much all I really know. Well, there's a guy named Jerome. He was a construction worker here. And him and Matt became pretty good buds because he would come in despite all the crazy Killdozer drama that happened a few weeks ago. But him and Matt would drink and hang out, and he stayed the night over at their house one night, and he said that like David and Matt like argued a lot. And then he told me that there was another instance where he dropped Matt off at his house and like David chased him off. Like he heard like a shotgun like, and like so he just like got freaked out and like drove off.
Do you have any reason to fear for Matt's life or your life at this point in time?
I am worried just because I've heard from people who have, like Jason and Cassandra, people who live out here that have like helped them out, like take home places, and she like took Matt to the VA, but her husband said that like one night David was really drunk like with his gun and like being really irresponsible with it. And I didn't have a safety on, stuff like that. I mean, I am concerned for his life, yes, because number one, like he would have been back by now. And I'm not really worried about me. I still have this cabin down the road, and both David and Joyner have been there. So I'm just kind of not staying over there right now. Just in case.
Yeah, because somebody had mentioned that you were afraid because you knew where they lived, somebody knew where you lived or something to that extent. So
yeah, well, David knows where I live, and Joyner. So the weird thing about Joyner is there was like a running joke that like I would never see him or like ever meet him, and that he was a fake person. And so, like, one time, the roads were too muddy for them to take their groceries to, like, up to their house, so that Victor dropped them off at my house. But that's the only time he's been out to my house. And I never saw him. And then, when I did meet him, he had me pick him up at Walmart because he didn't want me to know where he lived. He didn't talk to me the entirety of, like, the ride. Like, we were picking up Matt's cats from Joyner's sister's house. And, the entirety of the ride, he, like, didn't speak to me. He had, like, sunglasses on. He was being super sketchy. And then, like, had me drop him back off at Walmart. And I remember telling Matt that, like, he freaked me out a lot. And he looked like a school shooter. And I was like, why, like, He was like, oh no, he's fine. He's just like paranoid.
Have you heard anything else at all from anyone, anywhere?
His mom said that we were trying to like note down the times that Sandra like got him back to the house about 3 or 4, but his food card was used at Smith's at like 6 or something.
The very next day, due to the amount of evidence and the military training of the men, a special tactical team would be assembled to go to the residence with a search warrant.
Which direction? Hey, which way we go? Right or left? We're going left. Stand right. Come on. Side. Sheriff's office, search warrant, open the door! Search warrants, the sheriff's office, open the door, search warrant! Show your hands! Open and empty! Got dead space left! It's tight. Dead space right. I'm gonna move left. Byers and Kevin, clear that left. All hung right here. On me. On you. Moving. Clear. Secondaries. Check everything. House clear. Clear. Watch your fingers. Just let it down so this doesn't hit us in the face when we go out.
Hey, we gotta open the door on the behind us right here.
Okay. Shed? Yeah. Clear this vehicle. Let's cross firefighters. Clear. Something he said? We don't have curtilage? No, it's not. That's not. Okay. Stand here, V formation. Spread out. Sheriff's office, if anyone's there, make yourself known. You guys hold. Kevin, move up. Slide across. See anything in there? No. Just a lot of trash. What do you need? Like rubber? Yeah. We got a small injury I'm going to address real quick.
You want to get your sniper rifle and get up top on the turret and check that camper? Okay.
They set up a sniper and wait for the men to return. And after about 40 minutes, someone spots a dust cloud on the horizon.
It looks like it's coming on this road to me. This one right here? This one right here, right in front of us. Got a vehicle approaching!
Once they confirm the vehicle is approaching the home, the men scramble into position.
Two males in the front, one driver, one passenger. Passenger has a beard, both wearing sunglasses. 350 meters out. 350 meters out. Texas. Henry William John. 7586. Plate. Henry William John 7586 out of Texas. He's got a gun! He's got a gun in his waistband!
Fortunately, there would be no need for gunfire today, as the two men would give themselves up peacefully. But once in custody, it was Raynor Jordan who would initially try to help the police. He would also try to bond with them.
Hey, brother, so you said it's about 7 miles down?
Yeah, the first one's like 5 miles.
First mile's like 5 miles?
Yeah.
How comfortable do you feel? Nah, you know what? You're good. You're good. Just communicate with me through here.
Okay.
Guide me. I'm going to sit in the front. Just guide us to where we need to go.
Okay.
Okay? Appreciate you, bro. And all I can tell you is, me and my partner are the ones in charge of this. The fact that you're taking us to recover his body, the fact that you came clean and were honest, I'm going to ensure that that's reflected with the district attorney. Okay?
Understood.
I can promise you that I'll do that for you.
I understand.
Okay?
Probably not the appropriate thing to say, but I'm not gonna lie, you guys have a nice ass setup with your rifles.
We do have one or don't?
Do.
We've had, there's better out there, but I don't complain, that's for sure.
I know you guys are also kind of floods though, because you all rock like, you have to rock 1911s.
Sorry, say that again?
I know you guys are also kind of, your sheriffs make you kind of floods because you all have to rock 1911s. I know when I was applying for you guys, I'm not sure if he's working with you, but there's a dude named Boyd, B-U-D-E, that was trying to work for you guys, or is working for you guys now.
Boyd. That name sounds familiar, but I don't think I know him.
He was, apparently he was trying to work for you guys because he was like prior police or something, and then something happened and he had to like go through a whole process to get like reinstated. And yeah, I know he was telling me that's like, yeah, you guys, they all rock 1911s, and then, but he's trying to get, he was hoping that when the new sheriff gets elected, that you guys would switch to like box or something.
Yeah, well, the thing is that we're 1911, but anybody could pretty much carry what they want if they want to qualify and go through the steps,
Yeah, I know. And the deputy that's dealing with me, I know he rocks a Beretta M82, I think.
Now, as a master auto technician, I used to run into this all the time. I mean, people will come up to me, you know, customers and stuff, and yeah, man, I rebuilt this or that, and I had this big block, and I bored it and changed the stroke and this and that, and added a cam and did this. And I'm like, dude, I just try to fix cars and get it back on the road, dude. I don't care about all that stuff, man. And so I can only imagine what this guy's thinking about, you know, with this criminal, this murderer, talking about how he wanted to apply to their institution and everything. I'm like, man, get that guy out of here. Anyway, they talked to David first in the interrogation room, and we're into self-preservation mode.
All right, brother. It is 0437, so 4:37 a.m. We're at the Taos County Sheriff's Office. It is August 18th of 2025. This go around, you are not free to leave. I'm going to issue your Miranda rights again. Okay.
The rights are read.
Do you understand your rights as I've explained them to you?
Yes, sir.
Having these rights in mind, are you still willing to
I'm
speak
still
to me?
willing to speak, sir.
Okay. So, we're here in reference to what started off as a missing person and is now being rolled a homicide of Matthew McLaughlin. I'm Deputy Don Byers. We spoke the other day. This is my partner, Deputy McCarty. We're just trying to get the full story. So again, man, like last time, like I told you last time, now that we are out in the open and we're at the situation we are, from the beginning to the end, I need every possible detail that you have in reference to the situation. Do you want me to explain to you the whole movie trailer versus movie thing again?
I get it.
Yeah. So whenever you're ready, brother.
So I would say it was, for what Joyner was thinking, it was pre-plotted beforehand. Because I would tell him about Matt still had a drug habit and he was still talking shit and making rumors. Everything just kind of pissed off Joyner, so several occasions. Kind of told him, like, hey, no, don't kill him. Just, you know, kick him off the property or something. Or, like, give him a stern talking to again. To the point where it eventually came down to the point where he says that he was gonna go with the plan for Matt to get killed. So when Matthew was over in Colorado, dealing with the VA, getting all that stuff done for himself, went to go grocery store, pick up groceries. He got dropped off at Cassandra and Jason's house. I went to go walk with him as we walked up the road at the cart carrying the groceries of everything. As we got to an intersection, a shot rang out. Matt got shot in his right lung from Joyner's rifle, specifically his AR-15. Matt, not knowing what's happening, he did say, I got shot, and he starts to freak out. Then Joyner comes from around the corner with my Beretta. He sticks it to his face and shoots him in the jaw, which makes his eyes swell up. And he starts to choke at his blood as he hits the floor. And then he hovers over him with an execution shot and gets him right on the temple. He's waiting in the bushes for him.
So, basically, this has been an ongoing thing between Joyner and Matt. You state that this was due to rumors and Matt's drug use. There was some conversations prior about Joyner wanting to kill Matt. You told him don't kill him, I'd give him a stern talking to. Came to a point where Rainer decided to follow through with the plan to kill Matt. Matt went to Colorado, came back, was dropped off at Cassandra and Jason's house. You walked down to Matthew, walked up with him from the road. A shot rang out. Matthew was struck in the right lung. He starts saying that he's been shot. Rainer comes from around the corner with a 92 FS, or you said a Beretta.
It's the Beretta 92 FS.
Okay. Shot him in the face, causes Matt's eye to swell. And then he goes over Matt and fires an execution shot and was hiding in the bushes. Okay, so I'm not gonna, so on your timeline, you have rough dates or that sort of stuff?
It's rough dates, but I would say July 25th is the execution date.
Okay,
Everything
cool, bro.
else is more just a murmur of a pre-plot that he made.
So my one question for you is I want you to explain to me the plan that you're talking about.
A plan to kill Matt that Joyner made.
Okay.
So his idea was initially he was gonna come up the road that we were gonna have, and he was gonna try to snipe him with his 308 from a distance. And then his plan changed when Matt said he was getting dropped off over by the other road. So then Joyner's idea was he was gonna take my Beretta so he can have a sidearm. And then he grabbed his AR and then waited in the bushes for us to come up, and he told me to stick to one side of the road and to be very loud when I'm near the area. So when he sees Matt come up on the side, despite how dark it is, he doesn't need to worry about who it is.
And so, more specifically on this plan, when it was discussed previously, how was it discussed?
It was discussed in person because he showed up a little bit beforehand when Matt wasn't there to just try to talk about it, because he figured phones would be tapped in like that no matter what.
Was it earlier that day?
He did show up earlier that day for when that did happen. He had his van parked all the way at the beginning of the road where you saw me and Joyner come up. He had his van parked all the way down there. He had me walk him up. He tried to plan it about what was going to go down, saw that his plan was going to work, went to the other one, and then that was the execution he made. He told me preemptively, he said, "You're going to help me with this. You're going to help me with this. You're not going to tell anyone, or I will kill you." Because then I would be knowing too much.
So, you mentioned that you had convinced him not to kill him.
I tried to beforehand several times.
And it was that same day?
No, that was a few days beforehand when he brought Jerome over, and I told him about the situation, and he's just like, "I'm gonna kill him," and I was just like, "Calm down, don't kill him," and they just start ranting off.
So basically, Joyner made a preemptive plan to have Matt come up the road. He was going to snipe him with 308 first. He changed that plan because Matt changed the road that he was dropped off on. Rainer told you to be loud so that way he knew you were coming. Took the Beretta 92 FS.
And his AR.
And AR. Demanded that you were going to help him with this, or he was going to kill you. It initially started when Jerome was around, this plan to kill Matthew, and you tried to stop him for basically a few days, and you had convinced him up until that day.
Did he mention any sort of plans about killing Matt before the Jerome incident or?
Well, when Joyner started hearing about how Matthew didn't want me talking to him in general, like when we were going into town, Joyner did come in one random day. He got dropped off at the house when I was alone there. He kicked the door open with the shotgun in hand, and then he started to ask questions about what's going on. And I told him about all the stuff Matt was saying, because Matt was kind of ignoring him. So he just wanted to know what was happening. So then he waited there that night for Matt to come home as well, just to talk.
Do you know how long ago this was?
Maybe like a month or two ago. I would say so. No, like 2.5 maybe.
So the next thing I want to talk about, I want you to explain to me in more detail the reasons that Rainer wanted to kill Matthew.
He said it was more so because it was being disrespectful. He's being disrespectful, being slandered, being nothing but a strung-out junkie, going back to his old habits. So he felt like he was taking out the trash or getting rid of a rat. It was just nothing but more anger, I would say, about him.
So basically, decided he wanted to kill Matthew because of disrespect and slander. He was a strung-out junkie going back to his old ways, and Rainer felt like it was more like getting rid of a rat or throwing out the trash. So let's dive into the disrespect. What was so disrespectful that Rainer was angry with?
So Matt would constantly be talking a lot of shit, of saying like, oh, he doesn't know how it is out here. We've been out here for 4 months. Hasn't been out here in 7 years. He doesn't show up in here anymore. This isn't his fucking house. We don't have to listen to him. And then he would start talking about how, at least to other people, just making it up of like, oh, he did this, and this in the army, of saying shit like he was hitting women and shit. Just
referring to who?
Joyner. Matthew referring to Joyner. But I at least know he didn't do that, but he kept trying to push an agenda to other people beforehand, which is why he pissed off Joyner.
Describe to me why. Try and explain to me why Joyner is for lack of a better term, feels so territorial over you.
Because he views me as his brother, like I said beforehand, because we both known each other for a long time in the military. We had both of that. We used to have the same leadership. Both of our dads died, so we bonded over that. He has no other siblings left. So he claims me as like his younger brother. But he's usually very territorial about the people he knows.
So basically the reason that he reacts the way he does with you is because you guys consider yourself brothers. You guys bond over personal things like your dads both died. You guys have no siblings. And,
well, he has no siblings.
No, he has no siblings. And he considers you a younger brother.
You know, the crazy thing is when you think of being territorial over someone, you normally think of like a wife or a husband or girlfriend or boyfriend. But this dynamic of a friend being territorial over another friend is really a crazy one. I've seen this before when I was coaching basketball. I had 3 players. They all went to the same school, and one of them was like I wouldn't say the popular one, but the other 2 kids kind of like fought for the time of the other person. I mean, these kids are in high school. Have you guys seen that before? Is this more of a male thing? Is it a female thing? What is this?
So, explain what made you decide to participate in the murder of your friend.
It was out of fear for my own safety, because he also dropped me off at my house for Christmas before, so he knows where my family lives. And I know he would be the type of man to do it as well.
Describe that.
I know he's the kind of man, if he's angry enough, he'll just shoot someone just for talking. So if I became a loose end somehow and he found out that I was talking about it, I'm pretty sure I would get an end cap in it as well. Have the same fate as Matt.
Now, some of the biggest killers that we've ever seen, some of the biggest serial killers, very charming, knew exactly what to say, kind of very manipulative. Now, I'm not saying that David is that guy, but Rainer's kind of more like, look, yeah, you know, the dude looked at me the wrong way and I did what I did. David's like, look, I had to. I was being threatened. I was afraid for my life if I didn't do this or do X, Y, Z. You know, what do you think about that as far as being manipulative? I can't stand that attribute, man. I hate people that act like that. I mean, really, tell me who you are. I want to know. I want, that old saying, keep your enemies close to. I want to know exactly who my enemy is. Don't try to act like you're cool with me. I mean, the dude went down the street and walked the dude up into the ambush. I mean, really.
What makes you so fearful of Joyner?
It's because I know he's capable of doing it. Just because he says it, it also means he can do it. Because he says beforehand that he has killed someone around the property before with his dad. It's just believable, at least.
What role did you play in the body?
He had me just hold a bag open so he could dump all the parts in, so he could make sure my DNA was on it as well.
Okay, so I'm sorry, say that again?
He wanted me to hold the bags so he could dump the body parts in so he could make sure my DNA was on the bags as well.
And how do you know that?
Because it's what he told me. He said, you're going to join me or you're going to get the same thing as he did. So you're going to help me with this body if you like it or not.
Take a breath for a second.
Thank you.
We know the two weapons that were used in the murder. What was used in the decapitation of your friend?
The decapitation the weapon used was a sledgehammer with an axe head on it that he bought in the store specifically for that purpose.
What was it bought from?
I'm guessing Harbor Freight or something like that.
So, before the execution of that plan, when you walked down to Matthew, why were you walking down to Matthew?
To help him with the groceries. He wanted to see the puppy.
Okay.
His groceries usually need at least two people because the way he piled up on top, it usually tips over, so someone needs to hold on to it.
And at that point in time, did you know that your friend was going to be shot?
Yes.
Now, that right there is the first of several, in my opinion, subtle jabs that this investigator makes toward David. Calling someone your friend after walking them into an ambush is crazy work.
And at that point in time, did you know that your friend was going to be shot?
Yes.
How did you know?
Because when I was walking down, I know Joyner's still behind me with his rifle. I still know the plan was that he had set in motion was going to happen. I didn't know what to think at the moment of time. Kind of went numb for most of it.
You mentioned that Joyner had told you to be loud.
Yes.
Were you loud?
I was loud when I was coming up to the area that he was.
And what were you doing to be loud?
Just talking to Matthew a little extra louder. Just kind of raising my voice or trying to make jokes.
When Matthew was initially shot, how far away was Joyner?
About from the door to, I'd say like the table in that corner. About that distance of him hiding in the bushes as it was dark outside. Just almost no sunlight.
It's about 12 yards.
About so.
Now, David details it with Rayner in the bushes, waiting to ambush Matthew. Let's hear Rayner's side of the story when it comes to that aspect. It's a little different.
All right, brother. Obviously, we're here for the missing person that turned into a homicide case of Matthew McLaughlin. You're not free to leave at this point. You know that. I read you your Miranda warnings. I told you your Miranda warnings. If there's anything you want to add to your statement, let me know. I'll get to this people when you can. But basically, for right now, from beginning to end, both the beginning being when all this stuff first started kicking off. Yeah, we're at right now with us. What took place? Just describe and explain to us the entire situation with Matthew.
Let's see. So, everything I told you last time we spoke about like him spreading rumors and all that wasn't a lie. That was all factual. Really, the only thing that changed from what I told you last time and me confessing was basically just the fact that when I confronted him, I didn't let him walk away, I shot him. So everything was pretty much the same. Like I said, he was spreading rumors, he was bringing drugs, he was bringing strangers. Hey, again, shit like that. I confronted him, I got pissed off and decided you're not gonna give me the chance again. And so I shot him.
Now, that doesn't quite sound like hiding in the bushes. So let's continue to listen to David's story and see if we can figure out who's more credible.
Okay. You have anything else?
What? You know what kind of AR you used?
He has a Springfield Saint Victor.
So let me ask you this. I know you told me that Matt sat under the tree for a while.
After he killed Matt, and then we grabbed his things and put it in a bucket, a small bag that he had.
Whose things?
Matthew's things.
Real quick, bro. I don't want to interrupt you, but when you're talking about somebody specific, can you mention their name so that way I don't have to go back to it?
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm not mad about it. Just for clarity.
So Joyner had a bucket down there because we brought me and Joyner after we killed him. He brought all the groceries and stuff back into the house, emptied everything into the house, grabbed the cart with a bucket and the hacksaw, and then he went back down with me to have watch. And then he grabbed his phones, his tablets, a small bag, his wallet, different personal things of personal identification to burden. Everything was getting put in that bucket. Then he had Joyner had me help him drag Matt behind the tree about like 200 feet past the road. And he went to go try to cut his leg with a hacksaw, but it didn't work. So he went to go put that in the bucket as well. And by the time me and Joyner got back to the house, he made a fire to burn out all of his belongings.
Where's the hacksaw at?
We have it.
You have it?
It was melted in the bottom of the.
Oh, so you guys had done.
I went to go show them where it was.
Okay. Okay. I don't think I have anything else that I need from him. If you have some more questions.
Start dismembering Matt before or after I called you guys to ask where he was at?
It was beforehand, before the first initial call for the missing persons report. He already had no head and hands by that point. And then he had me hold the bag open so Joyner had me hold the bag open to put Matt's head and hands in the bag, and then put the bag in the bucket, and then he said he tossed it on the side of the ditch.
What day did you guys start dismembering that body?
I don't remember the day it was for dismembering. It was more just rough times of what it was, because it was almost a week before, almost a week after he died was when he started to dismember him, and it's when he smelled bad and started bloating.
Okay, how long did it take you guys to dismember the body?
He threw away the last piece around last week, which was the torso and a leg bone. But there was no meat on it, it was just nothing but ribs and a spine, hips.
Is that the statement that you wrote out?
So I had him write the statement while he did it on recording too. Rita has it, she was in here. And then there's a timeline up.
It's 2-page for the statement.
So what we're probably gonna have you do for the statement is what I want you to do, man, is I want you to read it for the record out loud. And then we'll have you explain the timeline again to us, okay? Yep. He initialed, he signed, he dated. So just read the statement out loud for us, okay? From the beginning all the way to the end.
About 2 weeks before Joyner shot Matthew, on several occasions, they signed the backside. About 2 weeks before Joyner shot Matt, on several occasions, after I would talk about Matthew, I would tell Joyner of Matthew's drug and alcohol problem, of excessive use, and how he would constantly complain and start rumors or ill-speaking of Joyner. I talked him out of him trying to kill him a few times. After I would tell him these things he wouldn't listen. About 3 days beforehand of when Matt's incident happened, it was planned that he was going to kill him. Joyner was going to kill Matthew. He told me if I was to tell anybody and did not help him, he would kill me. For the fear of my own safety, I went with that. For the night of Matt's death, Matt was out for the day dealing with the VA and getting groceries. I walked down over to Matthew and where Cassandra was at to help him with the groceries to bring him back up. Where in this next section? Me and Matthew walked up with our stuff. As we got closer to the intersection, a shot rang out. Joyner shot Matt in his right lung with his AR-15, which made Matt panic. As he was in panic, Joyner comes up close and shoots one round from my handgun, my Beretta 22FS, into his jaw, making his eyes swell up. As Matt laid on the floor choking on his own blood, Joyner walks right above him and puts one more round into Matt's skull. as soon as that happens, he aims it at me and then lowers it. Me and Joyner, after the fact, take everything that Matt brought in his cart back to the house. We unload everything, and then me and Joyner both walk back down to where Matt was, grabbed all of his personal effects, cards, devices, anything with information, and put them in an empty bucket to burn later. We set it aside, and he tells me to help him move the body. So I grabbed the legs, and he grabbed the upper half, and we drag him and lay him under a pine tree.
All right, so let's listen to Rainer real quick. If you like crime psychology, Rainer's your guy. This ought to be fun.
So, basically just going through the statement that you wrote, right? That's pretty much what you're sticking to.
Yeah.
So, I have a few questions for you, bro. What was your describe to me as much detail as you can your what made you make the decision to kill Matthew?
Honestly, it wasn't a hard decision to reach for me. I'd already given him, what I consider plenty of warnings before to deal with it, and I take that shit very seriously. It's like I'm gonna need a chance, I give him a chance, I'm not gonna give you another chance.
Okay, and what do you mean by warnings?
I've gone up there before, like I told you guys already, and I told your lieutenant. I've gone up there before, it never was violent, like, he acted like everything was fine. I'd gone up there, I don't know, that was not quite, a little less than a month before this all happened. I'd gone up there before because I already knew he was, like, starting to act strange and starting to, like, spray burns and shit like that, and I gone up there, I confronted him, and we had a very civil conversation, and he's like, okay, cool, I'm sorry, man, and he's like, won't happen anymore, whatever, but then, so I was like, okay, cool, I spent the night there, and then he went to work, I went back to his house, and I had also tried to call him before, about a week before this all happened, more or less. We'd also met at Walmart, because we happened to be there, and I talked to him, it's like, hey, you're still kind of slipping up, what the f***? He's like, oh, it's, I'm just, it's like, oh, it's fine, man, it's fine, I'm just, work's stressful. It's like, okay, I get that, I understand work's stressful, but, and it's like, can't go back to what you were before freaking, before all this. And, like we talked about when we were still up on my land and you had your touch and you were asking for info, it's like, I told you that he was already had a bad past, and it's like, I figured, new chance up here, I did it, TP isn't great, but, still do a chance, keep to yourself and you won't have to with anyone. And he kept fucking up. He just kept fucking up, and I was just tired of it. I can put up with that shit. I don't regret what I did, is what I'm saying. At the end of the day, I don't fucking regret what I did. That wasn't the same dude I served with, like I said before.
And why don't you regret it?
Honestly, I'm not. Truth be told, I've never been exactly had a normal sense of, a normal sense of humanity. I don't know how else to put that. I've always kind of been the odd one out when it comes to that. I've always been the first one to just say it's like, well, you can always you can always deal with there's always one way to deal with a problem permanently. When I was in the Army, and I was going through OSIT, my first one actually had, my first one at the time actually forced me to go to behavioral health and talk to a counselor, because I didn't deal with this in a normal way.
So,
one second, bro. Dude, I'm gonna be honest with you, man, like going through this, like straight up with you, dude, we had, PC, or like probable cause, right?
Yeah.
For the search warrant for your place, based on just Matt's disappearance, the argument that you guys had. But like, I'm not gonna lie to you, we're pretty like impressed, like, but now you telling us, I don't know how long it would have taken us to figure out Matt's death, man. Like, this was well thought out, or well organized and planned. I just where did you come up with it? Like, how did you figure out how to do all this?
Now, this ought to be good. You know, psychos love to brag.
Like I said, not quite normal in the head, and like not even trying to be funny. And I've always thought of the whole, the old joke about always having a plan to kill everyone in the room. That's who I am. I've always thought about, okay, here's how I would do, here's what I would do.
I'm gonna try to be respectful to this officer because he has gotten this bad guy off the street, but get your hand on the freaking bag, jackass.
Doesn't matter if I like you, as I haven't thought about it with David. I even told him I thought about it with him. Hell, I cracked jokes with him one time, talking about it. I was like, yeah, the only problem with killing you is all your heroes will come looking for me, and then it'd just be turned into the Alamo. I've always thought about like every way how to deal with situations, how to just that's who I am. That's some of that is admittedly was taught to me by my dad.
so how long before you killed? Well, let me rephrase that. Did you plan to kill Matthew?
No, I actually never planned to kill him. I never planned to actually planned to kill him. In the sense of like, it wasn't premeditated. When I went up there, I was giving him one last chance to fix things.
And describe that one last chance to me.
It was just going to be one last confrontation. The original plan was to kick him out, like what the story originally stuck to. The original plan was the original plan. That's why it was so easy to stick to that story. Because the original plan was to it's like, hey man, gotta get your go stay with your bitch or someone else. It's like, you're not welcome up here anymore. And just, I don't know, the way he acted, the way his tone of voice was.
Oh, and before you start getting on me about the clicking noise in the video, I'll make sure I go back in time and tell them to stop doing whatever they're doing.
Again, I just clicked.
Was it being rude or?
Yeah, and like I said, nothing I said in that was a lie about him acting like that was something like his property, something like his place. It's like, no, motherfucker, I brought you out of the generosity of my. I drove out of my way to go to Manchester, Virginia, to come get your ass, bring you all the way down here so you would have a new start. Because again, if you look through my phone, there's I don't know if they're still there because, like I was telling one of your, not your lieutenant, but one of your other sheriffs, I was telling him, I'm not sure if it's there because it's a new phone, but it's the same number. But I did have text messages between me and Matt where he was like saying it's like, oh yeah, I'm actually looking forward to going out there. It's a new start, like what I told you. It's like he literally did say it's like it's a new start, man. I'm sick of Virginia. I'm sick of my family.
So, Brother White, this is where we're gonna have we gotta figure something out. I have information that had this situation planned out for weeks, and it's from an extremely reliable source. It describes that you guys were going through stuff for, you and Matt were going through problems for weeks, and that David had even talked you out of murdering him on several different occasions. What's that about?
Like I said, it was never really me meditating. That was more just me running my mouth. I did the same.
So describe to me the running your mouth, because basically with what you just did there, bro, is you acknowledged what I was saying, but you're trying to tell me that it wasn't premeditated. So I understand that to an extent, but you're like, it's like a double negative, right?
Mm-hmm.
So describe to me what you mean by that.
No, I mean, I was known for, you can ask any of my fucking dudes I served with, I was known for constantly being the guy that's like, that would say, you know, it's like, I should just murder him, I should just kill him, you know, if I was pissed off at someone. Fucking, you know, it was never.
So those types of conversations, did they happen between you and David about Matthew?
Yes.
Can you describe those conversations for me?
Most of the time it was just me, fucking, David would tell me something, I would do like, and it's like, and I just kind of get pissed off. It's like, oh, I should, you know, I should just kill him. I should just deal with him. Again. But it was never really like, again, I know it's a double negative for you guys, you know, from a police perspective, you know, law enforcement perspective, but it was never the direct intention to, you know, it was never premeditated in my opinion. It was never the intention to do that, you know. You know, it's like, I have a career, I have a life, and, you know, that would kind of up, which obviously it is, but, you know, so it was always just words.
So, let's do this. Let's go to the confrontation.
Mm-hmm.
That confrontation, I want you to describe it to me, the one that led to his death, on the 25th. I want you to describe to me exactly what happened, where you were at, what weapons you used, and how that transpired, and where David was in relations to that.
David was still in my house. I had my Springfield echelon on me, and then I had my rifle, my Springfield Saint on me. I fucking met him on the road because he had texted David that it's like, oh, I'm coming up from Brad's house, which was the dude that I was telling you about that lives in the trailer somewhere down there. Fucking, it's like, so I knew he'd be coming up that road. I fucking waited for him out there at that crossroads. Started walking towards him and I saw him. Talked to him, like, told him, like I said, fucking, I said, hey man, what's with the rumors, what's with the... You trying to say this, and this about me. It's like, you bringing strangers over and drugs and shit like that. And he said, it's like, well, you know, you don't come up here, you don't live here, it's basically my place. I made sure you guys had so you would have to live up here. This is how you gonna repay, this is how you gonna fucking act. And fucking, I don't honestly remember because I just was...
Hey, Sarge, I'll call you back after this interview. All right, bye. Sorry.
I don't know. I was just so pissed. I really don't know what the f*** he said after that. He said something and I just shot him.
Where did you shoot him at?
Like I said, it was at fucking... Here's where I showed you guys at fucking like 600, 700 meters from the house.
How about, what, I'm sorry, let me clear. On reference to his body.
Chest.
Chest?
Yeah.
Right, left side?
Should have been the left side, I believe.
And then what happened?
He sort of tried to stumble off, like in where those rocks were that I showed you guys. Fell over, death gargled for a good solid 6 to 7 minutes, maybe longer. After I was sure they died, I fucking dragged him to that tree.
Okay. So, why am I having conflicting stories about this? Why is there a story that you had set this up intentionally and that you would threaten David's life if he didn't participate in it? Explain that. Remember, brother, honesty is the best policy at this point in time, right? Through our investigation, it was found that the day that he went to Colorado, which was the 25th, Matthew went to Colorado, he came back, and while David was helping him come back up from Cassandra's house with groceries, you had intentionally set yourself up in a position to shoot him, and then you shot him. And then you went up to him and you shot him 2 more times to finish the job. Can you explain that to me?
Yeah, I can. Because the reason I said I did everything was because I was trying to keep David out of as much trouble as possible. I may have threatened him, but that's more just to keep his weapon, make sure he keeps his goddamn mouth shut. But since we're going with that.
I'm listening, brother.
Since we're going with that, fine. What happened was, yes, it was with the AR still, like it was still in the chest, it was on the right side. I was, the confrontation didn't really happen.
Mm-hmm.
I did think about confronting him, but I was already so just fucking fed up with it. That's like, whatever, I'm not even wasting any more breath on him. And so I set up at the crossroads, I'm set up on, let's see, I was in prone position with my AR, fucking set up on the side closest to the house of the crossway on the left side. Saw him come up the hill with David, made sure it was him and not David. Behind was I was here, David was here. I made sure. It was circumstantial by that point because he had turned around to deal with the cart, and because the cart we used had tipped over, I lined up my shot and it still would have been left side, I think. Hold on, let me think about this. Actually, right side. Yeah, right side. Right side shot him through the back of the chest, hitting his right lung.
And then what happened?
I did pretty much the same thing. He just simple pay, fucking death gargle, fucking then I had David help me drag him to that tree.
Okay. At one point, did the extra 2 gunshots come in?
That was while I was fucking after shooting him in the chest. I ran out and shot him in the head twice. I originally only planned to shoot him once, but fucking because he was, going through death spasms, he moved. So the first one just hit his jawbone. So the second one, I fucking made sure to line up and hit him in the temple.
Okay, so then you guys drag him to the tree and what happens?
Pretty much that was it for that night. Fucking went back to the house, I was in bed, fucking, it's like, you know what happens if you tell anyone. Fucking. Then fucking went home.
Where's home?
Yeah. Fucking home, fucking. Good store where my fiance was.
132 Boostorf.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there.
From there, pretty much everything on that's pretty much accurate. Fucking, bought a few days later, bought fucking the buckets, the tools, so I can chop them up.
And why did you decide to chop them up?
Made the most sense to get rid of them. It's all, you can't really bury anything out there because it's all volcanic rock and shit, so you can't really bury anything. So chopping them up made the most sense.
And made the most sense for what reason?
Just easy disposal.
And why were you trying to dispose of his body?
Because I killed him. There was no ulterior motive there other than the fact that I killed him, and disposing of him seemed like the best course of action.
How many times did you discuss the plan to kill Matthew with David? I have information that these discussions happened quite a few times, and you'd actually initially planned to hit him with a 308. But David managed to talk you out of it for a couple of weeks before you ended up kind of forcing David into this situation and doing all this stuff. Basically, you're going to help me or else. The day that he got back, you provided some specific instructions to David. Can you describe those instructions to me?
Yeah, so, yes, it did happen. The conversations happened multiple times. Yes, I was originally going to shoot him with the 308, but my 308 zero wood, so I've been too far off. For me to get an effective shot of anything that was further than like 50 meters. That's why I went with the AR, but for fucking those specific instructions, it was pretty much just to text me when he was going to be coming up, and I told David, it's like, hey, make sure you're, I'll be here, I'll be on this side of the room, this side of the road I just told you about. It's like, make sure you're on the opposite side of that, and because I love animals more than humans, I told him, make sure you have the puppy, and the puppy is like, away from Matt when I take the shot.
Almost got shot, sorry. What assistance did he provide you in disposing of that body?
I made him hold the bag.
What for?
Just because it was easier. Wasn't ulterior motives to scare him or anything like that. It was just easier to have hold the bag while I did the dirty work.
And what's the dirty work?
Chopping it up, just in case body bloat or anything like that had made the body volatile in nature.
Okay. And so you used your Saint, which is in the van, correct? Is that accurate?
Yes.
What weapon did you use when you went up and put the 2 shots into the one to his jaw and the one to his temple?
That would have been the Beretta.
David's Beretta?
Mm-hmm.
What did you think was going to happen after? So, let me rephrase that. What was the final straw? What made you make the decision that, hey, I'm going to kill my friend? I'm going to set him up and I'm going to kill him. What made you choose that path? at the end of everything?
Nothing I said before was a lie. I don't put up with that. It's like I told myself I'd never do that again. It's like I've given him chance after chance after chance. You know? And it's like every time it just, you might as well just actively spin out face about it.
And how do you feel about the fact that you guys served together in the military for as long as you did? You picked him up and brought him out here and killed him in cold blood, set him up with somebody you trusted. You forced somebody that you care about to set up somebody else you care about in order to murder him. And then you chopped his body up in order to dispose of it. Do you have any sympathy or sadness or pain or regret about what you've done?
Truthfully, no. Like I said, that wasn't the same guy I served with.
Well, man, well, I don't have anything else.
And unfortunately, I don't have anything else to report because this jackass has yet to go to trial. But I'm sure a judge or jury will get to hear that one line that he shows no remorse. And hopefully, well, I'd like to ask what you think his fate should be down below. And what about David? If you were serving on a jury, what would that sentence look like for his part in this case? And as you write your thoughts down below, I am going to head out. But I'll catch you again really soon, right back here on They Caught Me. Till next time.